Hey guys, look who we have here tonight.
Hi.
He's gonna be in women's business tonight. Yes.
Oh yeah, all up in y'all.
It takes two to tango. Okay, so when it comes to the issue of abortion, trigger warning, we're gonna be talking about abortion tonight. When it comes to the issue of abortion, I hear a lot of girls saying, "Hi everyone who's joining. We're talking about baby slaughtering tonight." So trigger warning. Y'all know I don't have a filter. We have my man in women's business, as y'all say, because it takes two to tango. Babies don't just come out of the sky. And we have the real Ushan, I hope I'm saying that right, who's also going to be joining us tonight. Get her here. The girls are really mad that I don't condone getting rid of your pregnancy and then giggling about it online. That shit is demonic.
Hey,
Hello.
y'all. Hi, can you hear me good?
Yes, I can. Thank you so much for joining me.
No problem. How are y'all?
We're great.
Good.
How you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm good. Chilling. Excited.
Me too. I feel like I'm talking to a celebrity because I promise you, I was sitting here watching your videos. I'm like, wow, I really like her.
Oh, good.
Yes, I was sitting there like, wow, yes. Hello, Jada and Keith. So we're gonna go ahead and get this started. I don't know if the girl who was also supposed to join on the pro-choice side, I don't know. She said she got to put her baby to sleep. So we're gonna see if she's gonna join tonight. But she was in touch. But can you go ahead and share your perspective on? Do you believe that abortion is murder, or do you think that it's a woman's right to choose and it's nobody's business?
Oh, God. This subject is so contentious sometimes on the internet. People take it so personally.
They do.
I find it so wild how, well, obviously I'm pro-life all the way through, no exceptions. I don't believe that the circumstances around someone's conception should dictate whether or not they get the chance to live. I feel like as long as God decided that you should be conceived, then you should be able to come into this world and live like everyone else. So that is my baseline perspective. And I don't know why that's up for debate and why we have to like fight for people to understand that people deserve to live. It's a little wild. Yeah.
It's extremely wild, and honestly, like, I don't know if you got a chance to see the clip that I made where I put together the videos of the women who were just like laughing about the abortions they had and just making jokes about it. But it's like whenever I made that clip months ago, and whenever I watch it, it makes my stomach hurt, honestly, because it's like, wow, like y'all are really joking about this, like it's something funny, and you know, you got the girls rapping about it like it's funny, like it's a joke, and people don't even take it seriously anymore. It's like people have just become so desensitized to killing their children that was created in God's image, and it's just like, I'm sitting here just trying to tell people my perspective, and people are telling me that I'm forcing my religion onto them, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm just
you don't even have to look at this from like a religious perspective. It's just like, where does life begin? That's like the number one question, and everybody knows it begins at conception, and that's biology, that's science. You don't have to even bring like God into it per se. And it's just like, if life begins at conception and killing someone is murder and taking a life, therefore abortion is murder, it's not like rocket science. And when I looked at the clips that she posted, I'm like, I don't believe that any of those girls actually had an abortion, because if you know someone that's had an abortion, there's nothing to joke about. It's not fun. It is a horrible, horrible situation to be pregnant and be like, I can't have my baby. Like, no one is going to laugh about that. So it's just like, even if you want to be pro-choice, at least admit that abortion is a hard thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, there's like, how can you be callous about that? Like, at all?
And that's what I'm talking about. It's just like people are just becoming so desensitized to the idea of taking life. And it's like, oh, what happens to the concept of women being more feminine, being more nurturing, having this, internal thing where you want to be maternal? Y'all are turning around and being hostile towards me. Women being hostile towards me for defending the unborn, telling me that I'm somehow selfish. And I'm like, what? How is it selfish for me to stand up for the unborn who cannot speak? Y'all are ultimately saying that, forget their life. I'm going to do what I want to do at their expense. They're going to get sacrificed for me.
Yeah, that's
it's wild, because when you think about how women are built to basically like make babies, like it's in our body, like let's say all of what we are, but it's our nature. It's supposed to be like like automatic to us, and the amount of like training, like the psychological manipulation that has been done to women nowadays to go completely against that instinct to care for a child or to see motherhood as like an honorable thing. When you really think about just how like messed up that is, it's actually scary, because it wasn't like organic. It's all of this was done on purpose. Like it's
Yeah.
not, this was not happenstance. This didn't just like, it wasn't like a regular movement. This was done on purpose. And
Yep.
I wish people would understand just how much they're being manipulated.
Yeah. People don't
Like,
even
it's
want to get to that
scary.
point. They don't
Yeah.
even want to begin to break down the argument. It's like when you even dare to speak on that, it's just like, no, like, you
Yeah.
know your place. As a woman, you're not supposed to be against other women. And
Mm-hmm.
him as a man, he not even supposed to be in this conversation according to them. And it's like, what? Like, I saw a video that you had posted where you were
Mm-hmm.
reacting to this man who was like in the parking lot crying outside
Yeah.
of the Planned Parenthood because his
Yeah.
whoever got pregnant and decided, you know, they didn't agree upon it, honestly, obviously, because he's having a breakdown in the parking lot. And that was like really
Yeah.
heartbreaking. And with the comments that you were pulling up, where it's just like women, you know, saying whatever, it's ultimately her
Yeah.
choice, her body, her choice.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, like, I
Yeah.
really don't support
Yeah.
that. And I just really hate that we live in this, you know, world where this is
Yeah.
a reality. And like, they teach this to young children. Like, I've seen
Mm-hmm.
books, literal kids books about abortion. And it's like, wow. Like, I was on the Planned Parenthood website one time. I seen they had a onesie. Like,
Yeah.
how?
Yeah, yeah, they go into like elementary schools now. Like they start as young as possible to introduce kids to Planned Parenthood, so that when they get to like teenage, like 14 and 15, and they catch themselves with an unexpected pregnancy, they remember, oh, this organization that I knew about since I was in the 5th grade, I can go there to help me. You know what I
Can
mean? Like they,
you Google the book?
like it's
Because I know,
crazy.
yeah, he's gonna look up the book because I see somebody asking what book, but I promise we just saw a kid's book about abortion. Like, what was it called? Like, what's an abortion anyway or something? Like, it was just like a casual like kids book about it. But yeah, it's just really disturbing to me how
What's an abortion anyway?
what's an abortion? Yes, yeah. Show the book. That's
That's
insane. A
crazy.
kid's book. A kid's book. What's an abortion anyway? Like,
That's
imagine
crazy.
showing kids where they could have been like a few years ago. It's so
Right?
demonic. I can't help but laugh because it's
Yo,
just so
it is
insane.
very demonic. It is demonic. And when you say that, people think that you're like this crazy, like religious nut, but it's just like, it's demonic. The Bible says the devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy. Like, what do you mean? Like, what are you really saying right now? It is demonic.
Well,
But
because they don't think it's killing, they just think it's ending a pregnancy. And they
Right.
don't never break down that statement, ending a pregnancy, because what is a pregnancy? It means you're carrying a live baby in your
mm-hmm,
stomach. So you're ending the life of that pregnancy, but they just kind of paint it up as ending the pregnancy. So they don't go deeper than that.
Yeah, they come up with ways to cope by just like destroying the English language.
mm-hmm,
So they just make everything as vague as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So like words
mm-hmm.
don't really
Yeah, a
mean
lot of word
anything.
salad.
Yeah. So you know,
Yeah,
oh well, it's not really a baby. It's the unborn fetus. So it's
yeah,
not a baby. Like, okay, so when does it become a baby then? Then we ask that question.
yeah,
They break
yeah,
down. Like,
yeah,
I'm confused. I don't
yeah.
know if this girl's gonna come. She said she was gonna come in and talk. I don't know. She might be hiding.
Not hiding. I was looking forward to the conversation. Like, come on, man.
Right,
Like,
because
defend your ideas.
the thing about the girl, she came on my live previously on another episode, and she kind of just was sitting there listening to what I was saying. But when it came to the topic of abortion, she was like one of the first comments I got, and she was like, "So if a woman gets raped, then she should just be forced to carry her rapist baby? Like, forget her, huh?" Like, and it's just like when we always go to these extreme hypotheticals. First of all,
Mm-hmm.
because the majority of the girls, like the girls in the clips that may or may not have even had
Mm-hmm.
abortion, the girls that have these attitudes where it's like they treat abortion as birth control. They're not the ones. They're the majority of the people who are
Yeah.
going to these clinics.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Because when
the
you say,
people
like,
who are getting
okay,
raped,
so,
those are the far few in between circumstances. The
yeah, because then you're
incest,
like,
the whole.
okay, what
Oh, what
is
about the 10-year
your,
old?
yeah, these random, like, super rare cases. So you're just like, okay, so what if we ban abortion for those cases. I mean, for everyone else, and just allow those cases. Then they're like, oh no. So it's like, stop, because it's just like, you're the one hiding behind the rape victim. You understand?
Yep.
I'm being consistent.
That part.
You are using these horrible situations to make your point. It's crazy. Like, why bring it up? Like, why bring it up then? Because it doesn't make any difference to you. Like, stay consistent.
And then so I had somebody in the comment, they said rape isn't an extreme hypothetical, it happened to my mother. And I'm sorry that occurred to your mother.
Awful.
But the argument I'm making is that it's an extreme hypothetical. It doesn't. I pulled up a chart the other day. There was a graph that was taken, and it was showing like the reasonings that women listed off for why they got their abortion. And the top reason was like financial instability, or just not wanting to be a mother, or not wanting to have another child.
Or they was in fear of being a single mother.
Right.
So basically, they got pregnant without being married, so they think they're gonna end up being a single mother.
Yeah, and the pro-choicers always like to say that pro-lifers only care about babies when they're in the womb, and like after that, they're like, okay, well, like let's do away with the baby. But it's just like, in order for you, like everything else to matter, whether that be healthcare, being able to have resources from mothers, it has to start with being able to be like live. You can't talk about someone's life if you don't believe they have the right to live. That's
right.
Like, they always bring in all of these other things. We have to talk about whether or not someone has a right to life. If we can have that conversation and come to an agreement, then we can start talking about all those other stuff. Exactly. But like, it's just, they deflect a lot, and it is really irritating, honestly.
It is.
Yeah.
It honestly is. It's just like, if you don't want to have this conversation, that's fine. But don't sit in my comments trying to silence me, telling me that I'm trying to force my beliefs onto you. It's like, if you don't agree, you can block and move on. But the girl, they don't want to move on. They want to try to silence any other opposing viewpoints, so nobody else, that information is not shared to other people, because they don't ever want to have to feel like the conflict of the guilt of what they have going on. And I'm like, look, that ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm sorry that you have this going on. I'm gonna pray for you, but I'm gonna continue to spread the truth to those who want to hear it, because there are people who want to hear it.
That girl that came up a lot, is that the one that said she had the sister that got no,
that was another girl with who had only.
Can I know your thoughts on emergency contraception?
Emergency
like, is that plan B
and stuff like honestly, I don't justify using those either. I don't use those either, because ultimately it serves the same purpose in trying to stop a pregnancy. And I mean, who knows what impact? Do people really know the impact that's having on a potential pregnancy? Is that damaging a fetus? I don't know. So because that's a question mark, it's like, I don't really think that should be a thing that you use. And people don't know the long-term effect of those.
Yeah, I'm very much anti-birth control. Period.
Exactly.
Don't like
anything natural.
Yeah.
You get opposite of what you're supposed to be doing. It's automatically going to cause problems because it's not natural.
Yeah. And when you look at like the rates of infertility and women struggling to get pregnant, like women used to have like 10 babies naturally, no problem. And there's women struggling to have one now. And it's just like, nobody's making that connection between the amount of birth control that's everywhere and how women are struggling with their fertility. But when you have this conversation, people get big mad. Oh, you're trying to control women's bodies. You're da 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 da. It's like, no, we need to consider these things. Like, come on. We can't just live in a world where we're just like putting all of these fake hormones in our bodies and expect no consequences. Exactly. Like, nothing is gonna get thrown off.
It's not reality. So I had one ex that Sean asked, do you believe men are allowed to have opinions on abortion? Some say if you have no uterus, you have no say. Yes, I believe men should have a say, hence why I have my husband right here, because he deserves to have a say also from a male perspective. I've had a lot of women commenting on the clip I made, saying, men shouldn't even be involved in this conversation. Anytime it's a man in the comments, she's asking him why he's talking about it. Why are you involved? And I'm like, doesn't it take two to make a baby? Like, I can't just produce a baby right now.
Yeah, but that's why I go back to saying that this is all coordinated, because when you think about the order of society, when you get men out of place, when you place men outside of the conversation, it kind of leaves women vulnerable. Because if men were strong and like understanding of their position as leaders, like a lot of the issues that we face right now just won't exist. So of course they want to push men away from the conversation about abortion and therefore away from their responsibilities as fathers. The people that benefit the most from abortion are crappy men. When you think about it, they get all the benefits of the baby making process, and then they get to skedaddle. They don't have to go through the abortion. They don't have to deal with the medical consequences of literally having your child ripped from your womb. They get you scot-free. And we're like, yay, that's women's rights.
It's mind blowing.
It's absolutely mind
It's
blowing.
mind blowing.
What?
So the thing with not having the with the women basically taking charge, that it's societal, but it's also biblical, because it says when the man is weak, the women take over, and basically all hell break loose. And this is what we see now. These women are just making up shit to justify killing kids, and it doesn't make sense. And it like you said, it ultimately does leave the man. They can just do this because it's not my body. And then if I had you get an abortion, what makes you think I'm gonna stay with you? The baby was the one thing that may have made me stay with you. Now I'm really not gonna stay with you because I see that you easily manipulated, you selfish because you killed the baby, and I'm gonna go and do my own thing. It don't make no sense, and that's why women are vulnerable, and that's why they wanted women in this position where they got the microphone, because they know they don't know what they talking about.
The girls don't want to hear that though. They don't want to hear that at all. They like, why is this man in this conversation?
I mean, the serpent went to Eve because she's the weaker vessel. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah.
It is what it is. I didn't make the rules.
Get mad at God, not us. Like they be like, you got the wrong person. You had the wrong person.
Yeah, because I mean, imagine saying that men should not care about children. Like,
right.
So you want to live in a world where men don't realize their responsibility to their own children, and you're like okay with that. Like,
it's demonic.
Yeah,
it's extremely demonic. Like,
yeah, and it's such a double standard, because it's just like, okay, so if the man decides that he doesn't want to be parent because it's the woman's choice, he doesn't get to make that choice, because if you decide you want to keep the baby, he now has to pay child support.
Right.
So it's like, do y'all want equal rights or no?
No, they don't want equal rights at all. They want supremacy.
They want all the power and none of the responsibility.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Remember the Barbie movie? Did you see the Barbie movie? Or
hated that movie.
That movie was the most that movie was horrifying. The fact that they advertised that to young girls, to young women, and it was casually everywhere, when they were literally promoting a matriarchal society, putting men under women, which is like the most demonic thing that you could possibly do. I'm just like, wow. And it's just casually out there, like, oh, it's just Barbie. It's kind of innocent. Y'all know Barbie. It's a kid's thing. Like, no, that movie.
Ken was a baby back bitch. I was like, bro, what are you doing, my man? This is ridiculous. And it was so crazy because they said his whole existence was to catch up behind Barbie. Amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, like Barbie, I sat there and I was angry the entire time. And
we were cracking up. I already knew it was going to be a comedy film. I'm like, look, we gotta take a shot whenever they say patriarchy, whenever they say anything crazy, because it's a mess.
Yeah, that movie just upset my entire soul, and I wasn't gonna watch it, but then I was like, you know what? Let me go for research purposes, because I knew it was gonna be woke. I was like, this is Barbie. It's 2023. This is guaranteed gonna be a woke show. And I went there and I was like, nah, there's no way they really made a movie.
Yeah, they went above and beyond.
Yeah, it's not even
with the programming. It's not subtle at all. Another one we just saw. Did you see The Color Purple? I mean, I know everybody saw this.
I've had enough Black suffering via movies. I don't want to see any more of it.
It's like it's the same story.
Yeah,
same story. We went to go see it for research purposes, and they were shucking and jiving the entire time.
They actually managed to make it worse than the original movie.
Worse.
Actually managed to make it like it's literally all of the theme, none of the actual substance. So it's just old girl just getting beat for nothing. And it don't even make sense. It literally, none of it made sense. Like the original movie, I only seen the original movie like once, and I was young. I was super young, but I understand the themes of the movie, and people talk about it enough to where you can kind of piece it together. Like, oh, okay, it's about this. It's about her getting beat, and she be gay because she basically rejects men because she get beat for nothing. And it's like her man was just selling off her kids, just selling them, just giving them away, or killing them, or giving them back to God. Like, that's just so evil. That's just the worst of the worst of the worst.
And all that movie is programming, more programming for Black women or Black people in general, because that's what the main audience is. To program Black women to think that they're above men and to have this disdain for men because they're oppressive, they do this, they'll slap me, they'll beat me, and I'm like, well, really, are we being serious, ladies? Are we being serious? Y'all trying to act like y'all are the victims. Y'all are the main ones murdering y'all.
You know, it's amazing because people don't understand the purpose of television. It's telling you a vision, and it's like just look at it. It's telling you a vision, so you looking at it and you're programming your brain. So you already on fight mode when you come in contact with guys and stuff. So now you putting your hands on, but he can't hit you because you're a woman. He not supposed to do nothing because you're one. You can talk to him crazy if you want to. You can kill his kids. He can't do nothing. And then if you have his kid, take him to court, pay child support. It don't make no sense.
Yeah, I was like, it's a hard pass for me. I saw the commercial and I was like, I'm good. It's fine. I am nothing about this movie. Barbie was enough for me for the year. I was like, I don't need to see.
Honestly, the Barbie movie
I don't need to see
took the cake.
And
it was
going back to abortion, what fascinates me the most are Black women that are pro-abortion. Because if you look at the history of Planned Parenthood and Margaret Sanger and the fact that literally they had a whole campaign with the aim of having less Black people in America, like it was targeted. They went into churches, they went into community organizations to spread the gospel of abortion to Black people. And I'm like, y'all are Margaret Sanger's dream come true.
Right.
Y'all are literally marching in the streets for this.
Drooling. Yeah. That reminds me, you know Keke Palmer?
Yeah.
I've seen, we have a video we haven't posted yet, but we reviewed, Keke Palmer was in the White House talking to Kamala Harris. And they're kikiing, casually talking about abortion. And, you know, I'm just like, wow, like, they got Keke Palmer. Didn't Keke Palmer just have a baby? Like, you're sitting here talking about abortion. It really disturbs me when women who just had babies or who have children talking about abortion. That disturbs me the most. Because it's like, you should be the farthest removed from that. Your maternal instinct should be so strong. And that should be the furthest thing from your imagination. And it's like, y'all is talking about abortion like it's a women's right, and it's just a casual thing. I actually I was perusing YouTube and I found myself on YouTube Kids, and they had a Nickelodeon like election special, and Keke Palmer was hosting it. This is low key on YouTube. You wouldn't even know this is online. I watched the whole thing. Keke Palmer was in that video talking to children about abortion, about women's rights. I will send it to you. It's online right now.
Is that not an image?
Keke Palmer. Pull it out. I promise you. Excuse me.
Yeah,
even the woman that started the movie, she lied about it. Oh, that's crazy.
Oh yeah. Talking to kids about abortion is talking to kids about anything demonic is literally the most evil thing you can do. It is the most evil thing you can do because you're programming their brains to think that this is normal. They think that it's normal, and the more you talk to the next generation, like, hey, this is normal, they're gonna grow up and normalize it because they're told it's normal.
That's why everybody was so pissed off when Roe v. Wade got overturned, because they grew up thinking that it was just normal, that it was like, that's health, it's a right, it's healthcare. Like, the programming is just so deep. It's crazy. You know, I mean, this is the world we live in.
And I wasn't even into politics about when that happened, so I didn't know what it was about. But we got like kind of red pill right around that time, so we went to look back and it was like, oh, okay, they wanted to kill their kids. That's what it was about. Okay, makes sense now. Makes sense. I think she found it.
That is crazy, though.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Oh, is that it?
Yeah, this is the video. I'm trying to find the part where she was talking about abortion. Now that part was the craziest part. I wish I had the clip.
My God! Again, this agenda is so demanding. No, I think
it's a woman's right to be celibate. No, that's right.
Yeah, it is a woman's right to be celibate. But nobody wants to stop fucking before marriage. That's not an option.
Yeah, Planned Parenthood is corrupt. It's corrupted. Planned Parenthood is corruption. It is corruption. It's the definition of corruption. It wouldn't exist if the society wasn't corrupt. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, people just did what they're supposed to do and just have sex after marriage, while married, we wouldn't be having these problems. And they make it hard to get divorced and stuff because you're not supposed to do it. You incentivize what you want. You make abortion easy because you want more abortion. You make divorce hard because you want less divorce. You know, it's just 2+2 at this point. And just people want to look up to people like Sexy Red. And then when they end up getting pregnant, it's fuck my baby daddy, like Sexy Red. Like come on now.
These people stress me out all day, every day on the internet when I see some of these videos, especially things that they're exposing kids to. It just stresses
Oh
me
yeah.
out constantly.
Have you heard of that kid Lil RT, the rapper?
The, is he like a 9-year-old boy or something like that? Yeah,
You know,
I was watching. Yeah, I saw him.
they got him performing at schools.
Shut up.
Yeah, and the
What?
kids know the words and everything. Yep, 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 yep. It's crazy what they doing to our kids. The first lyrics of the popular song, mind you, this is not. He said, if she ain't sucking dick, little bitch, you can get the fuck up out my shit. The first words, that's the first line in the song.
This is
It's crazy.
stressful. That is crazy.
Yeah. I
That is
saw the kids
crazy.
performing Sexy Red at a sleepover. Yep,
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, nah.
amazing.
Like that is I don't know what's going on. It's terrifying, honestly speaking. But I mean, you just gotta keep standing up for the truth. You gotta be unapologetic about it, no matter how much these people try to bully you online and call you this and call you that and say that you're tap dancing or whatever. I'm gonna still stand up for the truth because what y'all are preaching is demonic.
Yeah, and it's specifically like the black people like to say that that everybody bite off our culture. We are the culture. We are the American culture. To a certain degree, that's true because we are setting the trends into hell. We are setting these trends. We are doing this because we still on the plantation. We still doing what we're being told to do and subscribing to the ideology of Margaret Sanger, who hated black people, to people who own slaves, to people who are literally trying to divide and conquer and control. It is truly mind-boggling, and it's demonic because evil comes through the weaker vessel, and at this point, black people are actively the weaker vessel. Like it don't have to be like that, but the way we're being controlled, it's like it kind of is.
Yeah, black people, I feel like I'm waiting for the point where we get tired of being used. Because when you think about all these social justice movements, like if you look at Black Lives Matter, and how they attach that to the trans movement, they always
Right.
use the black struggle
Yep.
to
Black
push
trans lives matter.
other agendas that they really care about.
Yeah.
I'm like, when are y'all getting tired? Like these people are using your ancestors' suffering to cripple you now, and
Yep.
you're voting for them and you're cheering for them.
Yep.
Like, and like,
Yep.
at what point is it going to click in y'all minds?
I think it'll have to click when it's too late. I think it'll click when it's too late, when it's very so in your face that it's apparent that, oh, we fucked up. We supremely fucked up. We've been fucking up over the years. But at that point it'll be too late because the way it's not designed for you to figure it out while it's happening. It's you're gonna see the fruit of it when you realize. And that's I don't know how much you know about communism, but that's basically
I know
what
MLK was a communist.
exactly.
Martin Luther
Exactly.
King Jr. was a commie,
And
okay? And people
they
don't
told him
know
around like
that.
he's Jesus.
Yeah,
They
you know the original Rosa Parks was this 15-year-old girl, and they decided that they didn't want to have her as like
because
the
she was
poster for the whole
pregnant.
thing because she was pregnant, and they switched it out. Now, like everything that we learned in school was a lie, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Everything that we learned in school was a lie, and everything that happened was planned.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was literally planned. These people, these folks literally had they were infiltrated with communists. Like is what the tactic is. They take something that's like it sounds wholesome. Black Lives Matter, child care, reproductive childhood, women's rights, women's suffrage. It sounds like it needs to be dealt with, but it's bullshit.
Mhm.
It may start off with a
Mhm.
little bit of truth, but then it just gets corrupted, and just like that, now it's doing the opposite of what it's supposed to be doing.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
definition
yeah.
of a sellout. Like why would a national association for the advancement of colored people are doing the exact opposite? It's putting niggas back in chains, basically mental chains. You're a slave.
Yeah. And when you try to tell them that, they don't want to hear it. I'm like, listen, literally every single thing they told you in school about Black history, about American history, about world history was a lie. And they
Yep.
continue to push these lies to keep you, like you said, on the plantation, mentally in chains, believing the people that are actually working directly against your well-being is in your favor. It's mind-blowing to me. Like, even when they started with the whole welfare thing, they used to go into Black homes and look for the fathers to make sure that there was no man in the home. How does that not, like, put an alarm bell in your mind? Like, maybe these people did not actually care about me.
Yep.
Like,
yep.
Okay, so I managed to peruse that clip and find the portion where they very slick and subtly introduce kids to the concept of abortion on Nickelodeon. So this is sick. They had kids pick the Yeah, I'm gonna turn it up. Kids pick the president 2020, hosted by Keke Palmer. 2020 election special. They had this on YouTube right now. And they were asking kids like what issues they wanted to focus on for the election. So I'm gonna play that portion and watch how they subtly insert women's rights. We know what that's code for.
Important to us. The issue that impacted me the most this year was definitely COVID-19, climate change, immigration, women's reproductive rights, gun legislation.
We all saw that, right? Let's go back. She said women's reproductive rights. Why is that being introduced to children on Nickelodeon? Imagine kid in front of the TV to watch SpongeBob, and then all of a sudden they're getting indoctrinated.
Listen, if parents are still leaving their kids in front of the TV, then I don't know.
Hold on, let me get that clip one more time.
The most this year was definitely COVID-19, climate change, immigration, women's reproductive
rights. Nickelodeon, my body, my choice. Women's reproductive rights from this lady. So just keep that in mind when you got your kids watching. Do you think your kids watching Nickelodeon? They getting indoctrinated.
Yeah.
I just want and nobody would know that's only like only a kid. I just happen to be like, wait a minute, what's Keke Palmer doing now? Because this girl, she's a plant as far as I'm concerned. Because she's doing a lot of slick stuff. I don't like it. I
don't understand what happened to her because she was normal, she was calm, and then it was like something just flipped with her, and then she just became like this whole new person.
She saw she could grift on it. It's a grift. You saw that you could make more money and get more exposure by doing it because it's literally a list of stuff that you could talk about, and you're literally gonna get on. You're gonna blow up because this is what people want to hear from you. They want to hear about women's reproductive rights. They want to hear about the struggle, oppression, the Black power, the Black Lives Matter. They want to hear about police brutality. They want to hear about that stuff.
Yep.
They want to. Just talk about it and it'll happen.
Yeah, it's crazy. Even the George Floyd thing, when you tell people the truth about that, they don't know how to handle it. It's like, wait, you mean you're questioning Saint George Floyd?
Man,
Saint George Floyd.
Man, I was debating with my cousin. I did a podcast. We were talking for like 3.5 hours, and I was telling him how so the autopsy said that he didn't die from asphyxiation, which is suffocation. He died from the overwhelming amount of drugs he had in his body. It wasn't just a little bit of drug. It was a lot of different drugs. It was like, I'm surprised he even survived that long. By that case, like, it's remarkable. And then when you take into account that, like, looking at the video as we are now, you can see George Floyd was a big dude. That dude he looked like he was bigger than me, and I'm a big dude. That dude was big. And you can, like, and when you in that field and you train to know what certain stuff look like I'm only a security guard, and I know the tendencies of somebody that's on drugs, that's obviously stealing, up to no good. They have certain tendencies. So as a police officer for 20 years, you know what it looks like when somebody's clearly on drugs. You know, from mild to extreme. And he was on the extreme side.
Right.
He was clearly on drugs.
Yeah.
And when they had to deal with him, the man he just really wasn't compliant. Now, what my cousin had a problem with was how long he had his knee on his neck. And I told him he shouldn't have had his knee on his neck for that long. He shouldn't have, but he didn't plan on that. He was like, I'm just going to stand on his neck. It is what it is. Miscommunication between the fire department, and you know he ended up succumbing to overdose. Even though he had it on his neck for 8 minutes, it didn't kill
Yeah.
him. It didn't kill him.
Yeah, at the end of
And
the day,
That's
that's
the
all that
facts.
killed him.
The
Yeah,
optics
that's
were bad,
true.
but the facts are the facts, and nobody wants to. They can't accept it. It hurts them. So it's like.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. How y'all feel out here in Chicago? How do y'all feel when they looted after the verdict?
Well, honestly, at the time, I was still a commie, so I was actually like, yeah, y'all, go ahead.
Not a
loot.
commie.
But it was a hot-ass mess. And it's still being boarded up to this day from when
that
they
is
looted.
crazy.
Did not come back from that.
Oh, yeah. The black businesses that y'all love so much, they don't exist no more. Y'all looted them out of existence. Y'all looted everything that we needed to get our economy stable within our community. Y'all destroyed it. Destroyed it. But the white man somehow is our biggest adversary. It's y'all. It's the people that live next door to you. I swear to God, when they was looting, I was on my way to work. I was driving to work, and you could just see it was literally mad match out there. Like you couldn't drive the regular speed limit because people just all in the streets. You walk up, you see the Nike store, windows busted out, niggas walking back with big ass bags of shoes, all type of stuff. Just all shoes in the middle of the street, clothes and stuff. Nobody stole no food. They didn't steal.
No, I literally worked at a grocery store when they looted. I remember they were coming through the parking lot, and I think we were off for a few days, and we got back to work. The only aisles that was messed up was where they had liquor and baby formula and stuff like that. Nobody was stealing any bread. Nobody stole any food. Like these niggas ain't starving. They thieves.
And they stole the self checkouts, the ATMs.
Right. They busted all the banks. Bro, the banks, they have field day.
I have a video of them niggas stole a U-Haul truck and is ramming it into the American bank. The ATM, they're ramming it into the bank and trying to bust open the ATM. They ain't got nothing to do with no
for days.
It's so sad, honestly speaking, because it's just like you want us to do so much better as a community, and you have these conversations with people, and they're always pushing back, always making it seem like you're bugging. When it's like, no, you're bugging. Like these people don't care about y'all. They are allowing your community to be destroyed at your hands and telling you that it is for your benefit, and I'm bugging.
Right. What you gotta do? I realized that the best way to go about it is first you gotta get out, because you can't do it from within the community. You can do it from within the community, but you can't be in the community as you're doing. Like you can't live in the same block because they will destroy you. They'll rob you. They might kill you. Like it's literally that bad. We're on the south side of Chicago. These niggas shoot every day.
Yeah,
they shoot every day.
Yeah,
there's always an ambulance driving past. We're on King Drive.
Martin Luther King Jr. Drive.
Wow.
So we're in the commie city,
and we see it. So you got to get away from it. Get a different head so you can come and you can understand. I came from this. I understand what you're thinking. I understand where you're coming from. But at the same time, I'm not going to jump in the water with you because you'll destroy me. You can't help somebody that's drowning if they don't know they're drowning. They'll pull your ass in. You got to get out and then try to help you. You can't do it from within. You can't because you'll be destroyed.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
We on King Drive.
We're on King Drive.
Martin Luther King Jr. These niggas be acting. There's so many crackheads out here.
Dude, it's a crackhead that be at the gas station every day. Be flea as hell. Pelly coat, pants, and be, man, you spend me $2, you give me some coat. I'm like, bro, sell your clothes. Sell your clothes.
No.
What are you doing? It don't make no sense.
These black people is insane. They're funny. Everything happen. Yeah, everything do happen over here. This is a very live.
I don't know how y'all doing in Chicago over there. I moved from New York to Nashville. I used to live in Queens. It wasn't that crazy as outside of Chicago.
Oh yeah, I can hear New York.
Yeah, Chicago has gotten worse. I started to believe that Chicago got better, and then like when we kind of realized that no, this shit's not getting better, it's gotten worse. But then the news say, oh, crime is going down. It's going down. It's going down from a historical high.
Right.
It's going down from being at the highest it's ever been. So it's down, but it's still higher than it was when I was growing up. It's still higher than it was 6 years ago.
Right.
You know, it's like,
and they're even changing what they define as a crime. They're making it harder for something to be considered a crime. So it's like, apparently, I don't know where it is, but you have to steal over $600 and $900 worth of stuff in order for it to be considered like actual like stealing stuff. So it's like you're changing the rules, but the destruction and the crime is still there. Like people are still being affected by this. And I don't even know. I'd be looking at these inner cities and I'm like, at what point are y'all gonna get tired of this? Like, do you not want to live in a place where you can go about your day and still feel safe? Like, you don't want that for yourself?
well, the thing is that the people that's doing the crime, they don't care about no damn politics. They just know that, oh, so you're saying I can steal and not get booked for it? And then the people that's trying to empathize with them, they're like, oh, they're doing this because they're in poverty, but they live in your neighborhood. Does that means you are in the same boat as them, but you're not doing that? Why do you give them an excuse?
Right.
That doesn't make any sense.
What's not clear.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like, people talk about this oppression thing and this whole white supremacy and how they affecting us and they controlling us, but you in it too, but it's not affecting you, but it's affecting everybody else. But you can't name somebody that it's affecting, but it's happening.
Yeah. I feel like we have been trained to care more about criminals than their victims.
Oh yeah,
Like,
for sure.
we have way more sympathy for the crackhead and the murderer and the person that's willing to go into a store and rob a small business than for the business owner.
Yeah.
And it's like, how is that sympathetic to allow criminals to run free in your neighborhood? You're
Because
calling
Robin
that
Hood.
sympathy?
Right.
Because Robin Hood. Yeah, these people think they Robin Hood. They think they're vigilantes. And they think that the people that's robbing and killing and stealing are doing it for a noble cause, which is the farthest thing from the truth.
Yeah,
until it comes to steal your stuff. Give your stuff to them. Why are you trying to offer up somebody else's stuff, weirdo? Give them your stuff. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's when it comes down to that with these immigrants, for example. That's a good example. People are like, oh, yeah, let them here, let them come. Let them come in your house. Because now they're asking people, are you going to let them in your house? No. Why not? You said let them over here. You want them in your state. It's a sanctuary state. It's a sanctuary house now. Let them in. You got
How do y'all
space.
feel about with Mayor Johnson? How are y'all doing over there? Because I know
Brandon Johnson is a clown. Bubble bass. We call his ass bubble bass. That's it.
Yep.
He's a clown.
I'm really trying to figure out how Chicago went from Lori Lightfoot to his like a worse version. How did that happen?
Well, because they voted for him because he's black.
That's it.
They just didn't want the white man.
She was black.
And people in my family, I know for a fact, voted for him because he's black.
That's crazy.
I'm like, did you read his policies?
Brandon Johnson is not even from Chicago.
Shut up.
He's from Elgin.
Not Chicago.
He's not from Chicago. And my mom told me, because when I was asking around, she told me that he was over the school board or something. He was a high ranking something in the school board, and he basically, when he was running the school board, it was shit. Like, she said it was visibly getting worse so why did you vote for him?
But this is what I'm saying, the psychological manipulation. It's so deceptive how they convince people to work against their own interests. It's scary because it's just like, and they will be the first one to complain about the crimes and the shooting and all that's going on, but then they will vote for someone that makes it worse. Like, I can't understand it. I try really hard, but I can't.
Yeah, because they think, well, it's bad, but at least we're not in slavery. At least the white man ain't enslaving us, right?
Right.
At least we don't have a racist for our mayor.
I say
black.
I say this all the time. Black people nowadays, they are the slave master's dream. You are in chains and nobody's putting it on you. You're putting yourself in chains. You are choosing to live in these neighborhoods. You're choosing to vote for these policies. They don't have to do the work. You're doing the work for them.
Yep.
Like, and with all the loyalty, and people find out that the Democrats were the party of slavery. The first elected representative to the United States that was black were Republicans. Black people are historically very conservative.
Yeah.
Well,
these new blacks.
Right. Not the thing is going on now.
The new blacks. Because even like the LGBTQ thing, like, I remember growing up, that was not accepted. Like,
that was like the line.
We all was like, yeah, that's not it. Like, we knew gay person, but it was like, shame on him. But now it's like, oh, well, black trans lives matter. What?
Wait a minute.
It doesn't make sense.
I mean,
What's going on, Nick?
Hey, Nick.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
yeah, I see what's going on with the migrants and in Chicago and in New York, and people are pissed off about it. I feel like this might be the one issue that might convince Black people to step away from the Democrats because
Yeah,
it's so
Yeah.
obvious. But it's just like people were telling y'all that y'all were being used for decades. And now that they don't want nothing to do with the Black people anymore, they're gonna just replace them with a new voting bloc.
but
Like,
remember when I told you that when people realize it's going to be too late, they're going to leave the Democrat Party after they lose their house.
Right.
At that point, once you lose your house, you're effectively in a communist state. You don't own anything.
yeah,
It's too late.
yeah,
And that's the end all be all. When you will own nothing and you will be
you will
happy.
be
That's literally what
happy. That's what they're telling
black
us.
trans
Very
Cats,
cats,
capitalist.
robots,
robots have.
yeah, all that.
Yeah.
That's the end all be all, man. Once you start getting your house taken, you're effectively in the communist state. You are
Yeah.
actually in communism. That it's
Yeah,
it's
and
over.
the
It's over.
way, even the way when it comes to like owning a home, the fact that you still have to pay taxes, like property
Yeah,
taxes when you
yeah,
own the land, that to
Yep.
me, it doesn't
yeah.
even
That's a
convert
red flag. I asked my mom about that. I was like, "Why you
like
still gotta pay for it?" Because you don't really own anything.
you
Oh, damn. So
don't own
that it
anything.
is what it is.
Yep.
Period.
Yep. That's
That's
it.
It's crazy.
You done.
that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Owned.
So the thing is, the reason why we won't even be able to do nothing about it because there's too many people complacent with it. There's too many people
Way
that's
too many
complacent. They don't even know that it's a problem. They don't understand the origin of the Boston Tea Party. They don't understand like the war that we had to go with against Britain to get our freedom. Like they don't really understand why we are the greatest country in the world. They don't understand.
But they don't want them to understand that. That's when they're teaching young kids to hate America.
Yeah.
America is systematically racist.
Yep.
America was never made for Black people. America is the worst country. America this, America that. They're making it easy so that when they're like, okay, we're going to completely change America and turn it into this socialist utopia,
Yep.
people are going to be like, yay, that's what we want. And it's crazy because it's like, that's what they do. America is not going to be the first country they try this on.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
it's not. It's literally the same thing has happened multiple times in history,
Yep.
but people they just
Every time it ends
cannot
up the
make the
same way.
connection.
And it's a meme. They be like, "Oh, communism is good. Communism has never worked." That wasn't true communism. There is no such thing. It's
There's no
slavery.
such
That's what
thing.
you're trying to do.
Yeah,
It's slavery.
yeah,
That's what they want though.
yeah. And a lot of people don't do their research because I was listening to a podcast with Jordan Peterson and this other guy, I forgot his name, and they were talking about communism in Russia, and they were talking about people starving and just how horrible it was. Like it was a
Yes.
really horrible. Like
Yeah.
people were dying. Millions of people
Yep.
have
Yeah.
died because of
Yep.
communism.
Yep.
And these people are like just marching for it and they have no idea.
And they don't even want to hear it. You try to tell them
Yeah.
the history, they don't want to hear it. That's why apparently that's white supremacist talking points. Like
When I was when we was doing street interviews, I had this sign that had there's no such thing as white supremacy, racism, communism that works. This is a bunch of bullet points. And this Italian, this old Italian guy, super based, and he walked up and I was like, yeah, how you feel about the sign? He's like, I agree with everything on it. I'm like, even the communism. He's like, yeah. He proceeded to school me on like how communism has affected Italy and how they basically. He said communism always comes through the Democrat Party. It always comes through the Democrat Party, and I was like, I never thought about that because they always are supposed to be for the people. They let you vote for your own destruction. They miseducate you and then they let you vote ill-informed. So you basically vote for your own demise.
Yeah, and they planned this because they knew America could not be taken in the same way that previous countries are. Like,
Yep.
first of all, we have guns. Like, it's not, you
Yeah.
can't come and force it. It has to be done from the inside out.
Yep.
So it's like we're working towards our own destruction and we don't even know it. Like, this is why one thing that I will never waive on is the Second Amendment. I refuse to live in a country where only the government and criminals have guns. Are you dumb?
Right.
Like,
And then those the same people.
that's what they want though.
How do you trust the government to take guns, but you're not supposed to trust the government? Like you don't trust the government with women's bodies, but you trust them with the guns.
With guns.
Right.
Don't make no sense.
Make it make sense, please. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Extreme liberals go hand in hand with North Korean ideology because it's communism.
They want us to be North Korea. They do.
Yeah.
They eventually it's going to get to the point where we all know this. Christians are going to be persecuted for being Christians, as that's what's currently going on in Korea, like in North Korea. Like they're literally underground worshiping Christ, because if you get caught with the Bible up there, they're going to decapitate you.
Yep.
That's what they want here.
Yep.
They literally want it because they've now associated Christianity with white supremacy. And white supremacy is bad. Therefore, Christianity is also bad.
They associated the truth of Christ with the actual lie. And it's amazing how that happened, because Christianity is the truth. And if you reject Christianity, you're rejecting truth. So these people, they're not, oh, I'm not doing that. That's a white man religion. Christianity was in Africa before it was in Europe. Like that, it doesn't. Christ wasn't white. Like where are you getting this from? It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's just all demons. It's a bunch of demons. They say, amen, girl.
There's demons everywhere.
Yeah.
I can't believe sis never joined us though.
Right. Look, hold on. Let me see if she in the views right quick, because
she been in the lead now.
Nah, I don't see her. Yeah, I guess she had to put her son to bed, even though it's a little late for that. Maybe should have been to bed. I don't know. Different time zones, I don't know. But hey, I'm glad that you and I got to have this conversation, because, like I said, I was watching your videos and I was like, I really like what she got to say. I really like how she thinks.
Yeah,
like how
when
she
I came
speaks,
across your page, I was like, yo, you were so bold. Because sometimes I try not to get too spicy, and you just don't care.
I don't care.
Hey, we understand that that when you under somebody else's platform, they got rules and certain lines you're not supposed to cross. But this is my wife. She's a stay-at-home wife, soon to be a stay-at-home mother. I have my own business. I go to a job, but that job is not my lifeline. That's just for a week-to-week paycheck. My actual career and my company is what pays my bills. I don't have to. We don't have to adhere to nobody. We don't have to check in with nobody. Can I say this? No, we're not doing that. We are not doing it. And that's what America is. It's true freedom. You free to say and do what you want. But if you a slave to somebody else, they can tell you what to say and what to do.
Yeah, I always say this: if America's gonna go down, it's gonna go down fighting. Like it's not gonna be an easy fight. Like, and it will go down burning.
Yep.
Honestly speaking, because it's ridiculous what they're trying to do. But
yeah, then we're gonna go to Texas. Texas is trying to be its own country right now. They're literally like passing around petitions. We're gonna be our own country, because they like America is finished.
It's the ghetto.
What we're seeing now is the fruits of what they've been doing for the past 70 years. Like this has been a long time coming. So now that we at this point, and we're like, oh, okay, we accepted Christ, and now God is allowing us to see. We're like, oh, this country's fucked.
Right, let's get the hell out of here.
This country's fucked. Okay, we get it now. It's time to go. Like it's over with. You can try. You can talk to people and tell as many people as you want, but ultimately they gotta save themselves. They gotta want to know the truth. And if they don't want to know the truth, then they can't be saved.
Yeah, I feel like if Joe Biden or the Democrats happen to win the election in November, that's when I'm gonna give up. Because if after these last 3 years y'all still choose that, then whatever comes. We deserve whatever comes after that. Yeah. Honestly speaking, like they won. The communists won. The socialists won. We lost.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like you just know that these people are operating in truth, because whenever they talk about Trump, they always say the same stuff. They're like, oh, he's a racist, he's a this, he's a scam artist, he's a con man. It's like, did you actually look up anything? Did you even look at what he's actually being charged with?
No.
Did you actually look at what he said and what he's did versus what they're charging him with? Do you understand that what they're charging him with, he didn't do, and it's nothing out of the ordinary? That if you understand that what they're charging him with and what they're prosecuting him for is literally what every other person does, that means if they do that to him, they will do that to you.
They're making an example out of him right now.
They're making an example.
And people just like, oh, that's what he get.
Yeah. And they want Trump to be perfect. They want Jesus to run. If Jesus would run, they would think he's better than him.
Problem,
They would still have a problem. So you can't win with these people.
You literally
Yeah,
can't.
yeah,
It's
you
an
can't.
unwinnable situation. It's people just, some people just, you know, so brainwashed, and they got literally got Trump derangement syndrome. Like that's a real thing.
It
Like
is
it's
a
not
real
just
thing.
my
Yeah,
own mom
yeah,
got that.
yeah,
Like it's
yeah,
crazy.
Yeah.
Like you
yeah,
can't even
yeah,
talk to her.
yeah.
It's like, well, I'm trying to show you evidence that's gonna. I can tell you the truth. You don't want to hear. You don't want to hear it.
No, they don't
It's
say
like,
that,
wow.
And
But you'll listen to Ibram X. Kendi.
Christians got it bad too. Christians, they think he the Antichrist. They think he's the Antichrist, but it's crazy because when somebody who was actually kind of seeming like the Antichrist was running and he was president, you didn't bat an eye because he was black. You see how that worked?
Obama is still running the show. We on our third
Oh
Obama
yeah, for sure.
presidency.
For
Like,
sure. And then when I say that, they be like, "What you mean? Why you think he? What you mean he run a show? Because they all Democrats. It's clearly a cult."
Don't you get it?
Joe Biden is in charge. You think that man know what's going on? Like,
right?
you think
Man,
Biden is in charge?
It's crazy, man. That man is clearly pulling the strings. Joe Biden is not. He's not here. He's not here. He's not.
No.
Joe Biden checked out years
Long time ago.
And the fact that people actually think that he's doing a good job with the country is the scariest thing of all, because that means you are going against the grain for real.
How do you even think
you
that?
You are so lost in the sauce. There's no saving you.
It just bothers me so much that every black person's first criticism of Trump is that he's racist. But when I say Joe Biden's racist, nobody seems to know that Joe Biden's racist. Like, y'all should be saying that about Joe Biden as adamantly as y'all do about Trump, because it's proof of Joe Biden being racist. He's saying so a lot of racist ass things publicly.
Right. It's crazy. You got a white man that said, if you don't vote for me, then you ain't black. And the only picture he got with black people is Karine Jean-Pierre and Obama. But you got Trump that's been kicking it with black folks for the past 30, 40 years. But he's the racist, though.
Trump is literally in rap songs, bro. Like, he's in, like, y'all used to rap about him. And now all of a sudden he's like the devil.
Trump. They used to love Trump because they had sense back then. They used to at least do some type of critical thing because you didn't have a reason to dislike him. But what I was amazed with was, why is this whole racism thing? Why is America so racist now? I didn't see this growing up.
Neither.
I didn't see this growing up. When our fascination with white people was fascination, just that. It wasn't like an envy. It was just like those kids tend to do things a certain way. And they seem
a little different, yeah.
They seem cool. You know, like, and then when you actually get around them, you got people telling you, oh, they this, they that. But then when you kick it with them, like, these niggas cool as hell.
Yeah.
Like, I can see a problem with them.
But
then everybody's
different
telling you otherwise.
In old movies, like when you watch movies from like the early 2000s and even like the 90s, you could see how everybody was kind of just like living. Like, nobody, like, racism, everybody was kind of just like, it was just America. And then you look at movies that come out today and it's just like, you could just see the racism. It's like all over. That's what I keep telling people. It's not organic. This has all been constructed. This is an agenda. This is on purpose.
Yep.
Like, come on, son. What he said, it's not more racist. It's just being recorded now.
I don't know if I agree with that.
That's not true.
She said it's not more racist. It's just being recorded. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
They did a survey. I forgot who I was listening to. I think it was Matt Walsh, and he was talking about how there was a survey where I think in the 90s, it was only like 33% of people felt like America is a racist country. That number today is like 60-something%. So it's not. This is what I'm saying. Like, it's not. Nothing was being hidden. It wasn't. This has been organically orchestrated by people that want to destroy this country.
Yeah. So what I noticed, what it is that black people are in this particular state where they're asking for handouts. We have our communities are destroyed, and it's basically not a good thing. We commit 50% of the violent crimes and stuff. It's not a good look. So when the white people was like, I don't want to associate with them, we're like, you're racist. You don't want to associate with us because you're racist, because we're black. No, it's because your community is doing, it's like this, it's demonic. I don't want to be a part of that.
Y'all culture is demonic.
The culture is demonic. It's not you as a person.
Shit y'all are
it's
doing.
The community.
Shit y'all tend to do.
But see, it's the same thing with like what the girls do with the abortion. They hide behind the people that actually get the abortions for their own gain. So the criminal is gonna hide behind you, or you're gonna hide behind the criminal because you're like, oh, he don't like me because I'm black. because you don't want to own up and say, I know somebody that's murdered somebody. I know somebody that robs people. The nigga look like me. My cousin is a criminal, but I don't want to sell out my cousin. So I got to, you know, it's because we black. No, it's because that nigga's a criminal. It's simple as that.
And y'all know, like, y'all know right from wrong, good from bad. Like, let's not play games. We are all adults. I hate when grown people try to act like they don't know what's going on. But then when somebody like me or him say something, oh, y'all young, y'all don't know what y'all talking about. No, you're old and you clearly haven't gained a moral compass, or you're just ignoring yours altogether.
Yeah. Why are people saying we're in the cult for being Trump supporters? Because they're actually in the cult and they're protected.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's actually protection. It's textbook protection because we're for Trump because we actually discerned and we decided to vote for Trump. You're voted for Biden because you've been told to.
And
not you, but you know.
Right. And then with Trump, it's like people try to act like we worship Trump, we agree with every